In just under 4 hours, you're in the ancient and romantic city of Istanbul. It's the only city in the world that straddles two continents. You've got Asia over there, and you've got Europe over there. And it's vast. There are 13 million people living here. So it's going to be pretty difficult to capture in just a few days. But I'm going to have a go. With short breaks to Istanbul costing from as little as £150, it's a popular destination. I've been here before, but it's always hard to know when to follow the tourist trail and when to try and do your own thing. The best way to get a real feel for a city when time is short is to head to the market. People have been trading here for thousands of years. The Kapola Çarşı is the biggest covered bazaar in the world. And the spice market is one of the most vibrant I've ever been to. Look at that, it's absolutely packed. Look at all these people. The variety of things you can buy here is mind-boggling. Hold on, let's try that. It's like a dry cheddar. Oh, another one, okay. I feel a bit like a cheese connoisseur. Thank you, thank you. More cheese! Oh, damn, I missed him. Oh, he's a big one. Go on then. Ready, pull. I tell you what, they're very friendly in Istanbul, especially when they're selling you things. This is supposed to be the spice market, but I've yet to see any. Finally, I've seen some spices. There!
All special spices.
Yeah.
And all the vegetable, nice vegetable. It's dried aubergine, dried chili.
Yeah.
Intestine.
Intestine, I love a bit of dried intestine.
And that one is dried okra.
What is your name?
My name is Dalboy, Turkish Dalboy.
Turkish Dalboy.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. I love to think that there's a Dalboy in every market all over the world.
Very sweet.
And in true Dalboy style, I'm about to be offered some dubious stock from the back room. Or maybe it's just off the back of a lorry.
Turkish Viagra. If you take one night, it's most proof 5 times.
Wow.
Just for men, for women.
Yes.
And in Spanish, like that. Una cucharita, 5 polo bolas.
Here we go. If you take this, you can make love 5 times a night. I'll have that.
For men, for women also.
I'll have that. We won't even haggle over the price. I'll take it.
Thank you so much, my gorgeous.
When I'm on a short break, I really like to get to the heart of a place, and Istanbul is famous for its history. So places like the Hagia Sophia are on the tourist trail, but with good reason. Built in the 6th century by the Greek Orthodox Christians as a cathedral, it was then converted into a mosque in the 15th century, when Istanbul was ruled by the Ottoman Empire. But this wasn't enough for Sultan Ahmet, the empire's ruler. After failing to win the war with Persia in 1606, the Sultan was seeking to appease Allah. So he commissioned the Blue Mosque, and he wanted it to be bigger and better than the Hagia Sophia. Unfortunately, it took 7 years to construct, and then he died a year later. So he didn't really get a long time to enjoy it, but we can. For £35, you can hire a local guide. This is Metin, and he's going to tell me a little bit more about the Sultan's grand vision. So Metin, tell me the story about the minarets here on the Blue Mosque.
Well, the mosque has got 6 minarets. They put 1 minaret in every corner.
But what happened with Mecca? They got a little bit jealous, maybe?
Well,
Mecca?
yes, so that's why they added a 7th minaret over there.
So the Sultan's mosque even rivaled Mecca. The Blue Mosque is free to get in, and it's also open for worship. The walls are covered with 20,000 blue tiles, and this is what gives the mosque its name.
Stained glass, look how beautiful the stained glass is.
That is...
There are 260 windows, lots of luminosity.
See, that view is absolutely stunning with the dome and the painted ceiling and the vibrant colours, and then the stained glass. Another thing about a short break is you don't want to waste time travelling around. Taxis here are great. They are everywhere and they're cheap. Now, ever heard of a whirling dervish? Well, I've come to Saketçe train station to find out more about this Turkish tradition. For £15, you can come to see this religious ceremony traditionally performed by the Mevlevi order, which dates back to 13th century Turkey. Here we go. And he's off. The whirling is a means of entering a trance-like state to gain a higher union with God. It takes years of training to do this.
I must say, it's very impressive. How they're not vomiting and fainting by now, I've got no idea.
They can whirl almost continuously for a whole hour.
That was just a bit surreal. I mean, I know everything's not meant to be fun, and, you know, that was a spiritual ceremony, but it was just much more sombre and melancholy than I expected.
So the dervishes are not for me. There is a modern side to explore here too. With the youngest population of any European city, Istanbul's nightlife is really picking up. But there are still traditional shows like this. It might look touristy, but the audience is mostly Turkish. I have to say though, it looks to me like it's the men who are enjoying it most. But I'm fascinated by belly dancing, and I've always fancied a traditional lesson. Must be the hips. Wherever I am in the world, I try and learn a little bit of local culture. So when I was in Oman, I learned how to tie the headgear properly. I've been to Istanbul before and Turkey before, but I've never learnt to belly dance. And I reckon I've got the moves. What do you think? OK. A belly dancing lesson at Istanbul Dreams with Gamze here costs £150. Ta-da! So what do we think, Gamze? Yes? So here we go. And just when I'm getting the hang of it, there's more. Oh, hello. OK. Hey. It's not easy. There really is an art to it. Oh, boobies. How do you do the boobies? She's got bigger boobs than me. Gamze explained to me that belly dancing used to be thought of as a bit of a sexy, seedy pastime in Turkey, but it's gradually become more widely accepted.
Super.
Super. That's very good. Thank you. Istanbul Dreams. So far, I have to say, Istanbul has pretty much delivered for a short break. And I'm going to try one last tourist attraction. The Turkish hammam.
This is definitely what I need. I mean, sightseeing's great, but, it's quite hard on the limbs.
Once used as a communal bathhouse, the hammams are still very important in Turkey. There's one in virtually every town. Men and women are kept separate.
I mean, people come from all over the world to have a proper Turkish massage.
In tourist areas like the centre of Istanbul, prices have rocketed, so it'll cost about £20, but you get an amazing scrub down, and then the pummelling begins.
It's just the most heavenly sensation. There is a modern side to Istanbul full of bars and clubs, and of course you should indulge, but what makes this place so enchanting is its history and its customs. Oh.